Every major collapse in history starts with the same illusion, the belief that money can be created without consequences. In 1929, that illusion fueled the greatest stock bubble the world had ever seen. In 2008, it ballooned into the toxic mortgage machine that nearly took down the entire global system. And today, that same pattern is repeating only on a scale that's unprecedented. Because right now, the US Federal Reserve is printing money at a rate that dwarfs every crisis in history. Trillions created in months, interest rates flipped from zero to the highest levels in 23 years, and inflation hitting 40-year highs. Yet we're told everything is under control. But here's the darker truth nobody wants to admit. Every dollar printed has a victim, and the bill is coming due. Most experts won't talk about it. Most news outlets ignore it. But you're about to see why this time. The price will be paid by ordinary people in a way we've never seen before. So let's break this down simply. Imagine the financial system as a giant balloon. Whenever the Fed prints money, the balloon expands bigger, brighter, more impressive. But here's the part no one explains. Every time the Fed expands the balloon, someone's lungs have to work harder to keep it inflated. That someone is you, your savings, your paycheck, your future. This isn't a new story. Every empire that tried to keep its economy alive through money expansion, Rome, the Weimar Republic, Zimbabwe, ended up paying a devastating price. And right now, the US economy is showing the same warning signals those collapsing empires ignored. Let's go back. The Great Depression, 1929. The Fed rapidly expanded credit during the Roaring '20s. Stock speculation exploded by more than 300%, fueled by cheap money. When the bubble burst, the economy contracted by 33%, and unemployment hit 25%. 2008 financial crisis, excess liquidity once again flooded the system. Banks lent money to anyone with a pulse. Housing prices inflated 124% in a decade. When the collapse came, $19 trillion in household wealth disappeared, 2020 to 2025. But here's the shocker. The Fed printed more money in 18 months than in the previous 100 years combined, a staggering $8 trillion. This is not normal. This is not sustainable. This is the largest monetary experiment in human history. Today we are witnessing inflation that stayed above the Fed's 2% target for over 40 consecutive months, the fastest interest rate hike cycle in 40 years, a national debt crossing $34 trillion, record credit card debt of $1.3 trillion, and a savings rate that collapsed from 21% to just 3.5%. These numbers should terrify anyone paying attention, because the markets look fine on the surface, but underneath, the system is cracking. Asset prices remain inflated. Wages can't keep up with the cost of living. Consumers are drowning in debt. And the middle class, the backbone of every stable economy, is being quietly erased. So here's the contradiction. The Fed says it prints money to help the economy, to stabilize markets, to support jobs. But every time they do it, the top 1% gets richer, the government piles on more debt, and the middle class pays through inflation, rising costs, and shrinking purchasing power. It's the equivalent of pouring water into a bucket with a hole. The bucket looks full until you realize everything at the bottom is leaking out. That leak is your savings, your retirement, your paycheck. And it gets even more complicated. Because the US dollar isn't just America's currency, it's the backbone of the global system. When the Fed prints money, emerging markets get crushed, global commodities spike. Foreign debt becomes unpayable, and global inflation spreads like wildfire. This is why countries from China to Brazil are desperately trying to escape the dollar system, because they know exactly who pays the price when the Fed creates money out of thin air. Them and us. So, who pays when the Fed prints money? Not the government, not the banks, not the corporations. You do. Your wages, your savings, your cost of living. This is the hidden tax, the silent wealth transfer. The economic time bomb sitting under the global financial system, and it's happening right now, while most people are distracted, or told everything is fine. But the signs are clear. When money is created without limits, a financial reset becomes inevitable. So stay informed, stay prepared, and never forget, every dollar the Fed prints comes with a price. And that price is darker than anyone wants to admit.